And welcome to the Witchy Weather Report. We are live. I'm just going to add a little comment. As always, how are we doing? All right. Ooh, bonus. I got a little better Instagram angle that time. Hello, how are we? My name is Rory with Sassafras Tarot. I am here to bring you the Witchy Weather Report. I hope you are ready. So I do this every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 8 a.m. Pacific Time. I'm pretty sure that is 4 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time or British Summer Time, whatever you would call it. Hey, Mary Jane. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm going to share this broadcast in one or two places. I will be reading for you with my brand new deck, Crystal Visions Tarot, courtesy of Brittany. Thank you so much, Brittany, if you're tuned in, for sending me this tarot deck. I love it. And by the way, I am decked out in Delia Stanley gear today. Delia Stanley is an artist as well as a musician, and you can check her out at deliastanley.com. I ordered this shirt from her shop, and I just love it. All right, Sassafras Tarot is live now. Look at me, I'm live now. The livest person, I would hope so. You know, it really beats the alternative. All right. So, before I get started with the card for the week, how has your week been? What's been going on for you? This past week, we had the Seven of Wands reversed. That was, I hope that's still going. It's still going. Okay, good. I was just making sure that my stream is still going. Last week, we had the Seven of Wands reversed, meaning that we all had potential to feel like we were up against it. We were facing resistance in our lives. And also that idea was kind of I don't like to say all in your head, you know what I mean? But that idea was kind of like we were prone to think that way. We were prone to feel that we were up against it because we had been in the past, and it was force of habit, and maybe now it didn't actually have to be so hard. So the question I encouraged everyone to ask themselves last week was, what would this look like if it were easy? So, what was your week like, friends? What transpired for you? Did you feel you were facing resistance? Did you find ways to make it easy for yourself? Post in the comments. Let me know. Inquiring Rorys want to know. I want to let you know, too, I also had my first live stream that was not the Witchy Weather Report this past Wednesday, and I did not share that on Instagram. So, Insta friends, if you would like to get in on all of my content, I would strongly request that you follow me on Twitch or YouTube. Both are better quality than Facebook, although everything is going on Facebook too. And the reason is just as difficult to send out to Instagram. I have to do Instagram separately with my phone, whereas I can do everything else through my StreamYard. So, for other sassy content, please follow me at Sassafras Tarot on Twitch or YouTube. And on YouTube, I don't have a fancy URL yet. It's just youtube.com/channel/ a bunch of numbers. So if you could subscribe to me there, it will help me be able, I think I have to have 50 subscribers before I can have a nice URL on YouTube, which seems draconian to me, I have to say. Anyway, let's see. I've shared this in a couple of places. I see some comments starting to come in. Let's see how everyone is doing this week. Hey, Melissa. Look at you dropping cats and dinosaurs. Lana Marie, dropping cats already. Ondine says, I wish. Ooh, that makes me worry. How are you doing, Ondine? Are you okay? Hey, Brittany, how are you doing? This is brought to you by Brittany, everybody, who was kind enough to send me Crystal Visions Tarot. That's what I'll be reading with today. Ondine says, I think it's 100. I actually just checked the other day and YouTube was telling me 50. So I think they've changed it a bunch. That was the last thing I saw, but I could be wrong. I could get to 50 and it could be a lie. Um, Thankfully, the stream got here as soon as I got home from some medical tests, so I'm really excited I can catch it. Yay! I hope your medical test went well. Okay, I see people. Looks like people had a crappy week. Lana says, crappy week. I'm sorry you had a crappy week. Ondine says, hanging in, but things are still not easy. I'll be honest, I had an iffy week myself. I spent most of this week, and if you were tuned in on Twitch the other day, you know this, battling with the US healthcare system to try and get physical therapy and care for my back because I've been suffering from lower back pain for a while. Not something I talk a lot about on social media because I don't need to like spend my life complaining, you know? But suffice it to say that it is frustrating trying to get care in the United States, even though I have insurance. All right. Mary Jane says, yes, awful attorney that I've been butting heads with asked me to walk at lunch with him and his assistant. Stunned, but keep your enemies close, and maybe he's not as toxic as I thought. Maybe he's trying to make an outreach. You know, people always do have the prerogative to change. It could happen. Maybe things have an opportunity to, if not make you best friends, maybe things have an opportunity to get a little bit more comfortable in that respect. Healthcare always gives a headache. Yes, it does. Yes, indeed. Right. It's like you go seek healthcare for your first problem, and then you're like, wait, I have a headache because I had to deal with American healthcare. All right, I'm going to shuffle up cards for this week. While I am shuffling, if you're tuned in, first of all, let me know because I usually ask at the beginning. Let me know if things are looking and sounding okay. They're looking and sounding okay on my end, but I always like to check. And I ask you, if you enjoy the Witchy Weather Report, please give it a share. Please share it with someone that you think might enjoy it, because I've been excited to be growing this every week, to have new faces come in that I get to check in and say hello with every week. So I'm shuffling up. My deck that I'm reading with this week is Crystal Visions Tarot, brand new to me deck, courtesy of Brittany. Thank you so much. And I'm going to shuffle this up and pull us all a card for the week. And then I'll pull cards for you individually. I think all of you know, because I think everyone tuned in is a regular. But the secret code to get a card pulled for you is to drop a cat emoji in the chat. That way we don't get spammers trying to sell tarot readings, because that's what I got my first few weeks of doing this. But I know when I see that cat emoji that I need to pull a card for you. And if you have a difficult time getting to the emojis for any reason, just like write a sentence about a cat. I would love an update on your furry friend if you have one, or I would just love to hear a whimsical sentence about a cat. Everything is better with cats, right? Danger cat. I'm just, if you're on Instagram, I'm sorry, and on StreamYard I'm able to like pop comments up for everyone to see. Brittany Marie just put danger cat with a little raccoon head into the chat. Good here. Okay, good. The stream is good on Instagram. Not as cute as my cat. Believable. Although that is a very cute cat, so your cat must be quite cute. Oh, Ondine is asking me if I've heard of the acupuncture clinic at the Pacific College of Health Sciences. Very affordable, but located in Lower Manhattan. No, I didn't know about that, but that sounds really awesome. That's a bit of a it's a bit of a drive for me these days, but maybe if I start gigging in Manhattan again, that will be a good thing to tack on there. All right, I've been shuffling for a little while. I'm going to lay out the cards across my MIDI keyboard. I've just decided to embrace the collision of my worlds. I guess you can't see it. I guess you can't see it on the screen so much, but I've got a MIDI keyboard in front of me. And it's the exact right size to lay out tarot cards on, so whatever works, right? Here is our card for the week, my friends. We have the Five of Wands. So continued feelings of discord. I am going to say it's Aries season. Is anyone surprised that there's a little bit of discord? But sometimes this is healthy. So we have the Five of Wands here, and I'm going to describe this card to you, and then I'm going to show it to you. We have two lions kind of sparring with each other. One of them seems to be defending, and the other seems to be like, get out of my way. And then a few young men also, they don't look like they're actively fighting yet, but they're not having a good time. So the Five of Wands, my friend Susanna at Anti-Fragile Tarot describes this card as the comments on a political Facebook post. And I have to say, that is a dead on, like, accurate modern day description of this card. It really is about discord for discord's sake. You know, conversations where everyone seems to have an opinion to get in and not necessarily in the nicest way. And so I invite you this week to ask yourself, if you find yourself participating in that, ask yourself if there's a good reason to. I will say sometimes there is. Sometimes if sometimes we feel that maybe something someone is saying is toxic to us and we need to stand up for ourselves, not necessarily because we're going to change that person's mind, but perhaps because we need to show ourselves and anyone else listening who might be vulnerable that there's someone who will stand up to that kind of nonsense. And that's okay. If you have the energy to stand up to nonsense, feel free, but be aware of your energy level. Guard your energy level this week because there is the potential for kind of petty conflict. So, you know, don't put yourself into it if you can avoid it. And if you do, have an exit strategy. That's going to be my advice. If you feel like sometimes we do have to have that uncomfortable conversation, if you do so, have an exit strategy and have a self-care strategy afterwards. Make sure that after that uncomfortable conversation, you give yourself time, either with yourself or with your chosen family, to be kind and kind of refill your cup. For some of us, I'm going to start a fight as an urge to deal with every week. But yes, that was one of the comments. If you're watching on Instagram, you can't see when I pop up these comments on the screen. So, yeah. So that's what's going on for us this week. I am going to begin to pull cards. Melissa Marie says, "Oh, I'm going to stand up to all the nonsense." Preach, sister. I'm right here. Like, please stand up to the nonsense. When we have the energy to do so, it's great. Remember that it's not always your job to be, you know, fighting the good fight. Sometimes we need to rest so that we can, you know, move to fight another day. Hey, Kayla Ludi, how you doing? Thank you for tuning in. All right, so as always, if you would like a card pulled, the secret code to get a card is drop a cat emoji in the chat, or just write a sentence about a cat if for some reason you can't access the emoji keyboard. I know a couple of people have said that is challenging. Melissa dropped 3 cats and 2 dinosaurs at 11:04 a.m. She was the first person to drop that cat in the chat, so I'm going to pull a card for you, Melissa. All right, I'm shuffling. I know it's not that interesting, but I hope you enjoy those nice ASMR shuffly sounds. I don't always love ASMR. Some of the ASMR stuff is a little too sibilant for me. For my I get a little bit of misophonia around very sibilant stuff, but I do love the sound of a good shuffle. It's very satisfying to me. And by the way, I shuffle my cards, I guess you would call it poker style. I am not like careful when shuffling my cards. The only way I'm good at shuffling cards is like this. And that's just how my cards are going to get shuffled. So be aware of that if you ever ask me to shuffle a deck of cards. All right, Melissa, here's your card, the 7 of Cups. I want you to just check out this beautiful human climbed aboard a dragon with cups surrounding her. One of them has a rainbow coming out of it. One of them has glinting crystal light emanating from it. Some of them are like down in this little pond thing with some lotus flowers and dragonflies. And I've just dropped all my tarot cards on the floor. That's amazing. So here's the 7 of Cups. Take a quick look at that 7 of Cups while I pick up all of my tarot cards. That'll be fun. I just dropped some more on the ground. This is awesome. Guys, we're reading with reversals today because I might not put these all back together right. Please enjoy. This would be a good time for me to pop up one of those 30-second wait screens or something like that, but I am not that fancy yet. I will be that fancy one day. Please enjoy, I don't know, just seeing my hair as I lean over to pick up these cards. Okay. Cards have been picked up. I don't think I have a. Brittany just asked, have you discovered a particular favorite card from this deck? Not yet, is the answer. I need to spend a little more time with it. Okay. Melissa, let's talk about your Seven of Cups, which, by the way, also shows a moon that is about to begin waxing. Things are moving for you. You have a lot of power behind you. You literally are riding a dragon, so, lots of power. There's a lot of possibility in your world right now. This dragon's got a couple of cups. You are looking at different cups, but you don't actually have your finger on the trigger yet. This is a card about considering your options. And in particular, there's a lot of shiny in the world right now. There are a lot of things that are appealing to you, that are interesting to you. This is not a bad state to be in. It's a state of daydream. It's a state of appreciating what is possible. So I'm not going to tell you not to enjoy the Seven of Cups energy. I am going to just remind you that at some point you can do anything you want to. You can't do everything you want to. So this is a good time for exploring. I'm not going to urge you to go close some doors so you can leave others open. I'm just going to remind you that this is a time to check out what your options are, and at some point in the future you will decide what's important to you to pursue. All right, now these cards are like fully, they certainly got well shuffled. I guess the universe was hearing me say, oh, this is the only way you know how to shuffle. Bam. Now all the cards are scattered on the floor. I call that shuffled. The universe is showing me up there. So I'm gonna give a couple more shuffles, and some of you will be getting upright cards, some of you will be getting reversals. I don't always read with reversals. But when I do, it's because I just dropped all my cards on the floor. All right, next up, I've got a card for you, Mary Jane, then Alana Marie, and I'll let you know who else is on deck. I know a couple of people have put cats into the chat, and if you would like a card pulled and you haven't dropped a cat yet, that's the secret code. Drop a cat in the chat, and I will pull a code for you. Hey, Grayson, how you doing? Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Kayla. High praise coming from you. Everyone should follow Kayla Ludi. I believe she's on both Twitch and Facebook, and I think Instagram too. Kayla Ludi, or K Ludi Music, is usually how her handle looks. Kayla just writes such amazing songs, and just listening to her speak is really nice too. If you follow her on Facebook, every so often she'll go live and she'll just like talk something out that's been on her mind, and I always get a lot from it. So please make sure you follow Kayla Ludi. All right, I'm pulling a card for you at this time, Mary Jane. Mary Jane, here is your card. As predicted, we have a reversal. We have the Page of Cups reversed. I think you might have gotten a page last time. Am I right about that, Mary Jane? You tell me. I feel like you got, or maybe a Knight of Cups reversed or something. So here's the question for you. What is blocking you from feeling at one with your emotions right now? Especially there's a sense of, would I be immature if I was in my feelings? Sometimes we try and talk ourselves out of our feelings. I was just talking with you about this, Melissa, how one of the things in toxic positivity culture, we say let it go, and what that means in toxic positivity is you're not supposed to have that feeling. And I'm here to tell you, you are supposed to have feelings. Feelings are important and meaningful. We should honor them as messengers, even if they're difficult feelings to deal with, because there's a reason we have them. We don't just have them for no reason. They're not just some annoying thing we're supposed to control. Feelings are an important part of who we are. So there's a real sense for you, Mary Jane, this week that you are blocked from being fully in your feelings. There's a sense actually that you feel that you would be not taken seriously, or maybe that you wouldn't take yourself seriously. Like, I don't want to throw a pity party, or whatever. If you really gave into your feelings, in part because you actually have some exploring to do. The Page of Cups indicates a message and or learning that has to happen around your emotions. What is it that you need to understand about yourself better? I can tell you that you're not going to figure that out by pushing your feelings aside and trying to be stoic. You do actually, like, the only way out is through. And I encourage you to make some time for yourself so that this can be a gentle process. If you're feeling very stressed and feeling like maybe you just don't have time to have feelings right now, I can certainly relate to that. I think anyone who is trying to, push forward as a career, push forward and have a career has that feeling sometimes. Well, then carve out some time, put it on the schedule, give yourself room to just, be in your feelings and allow them to unfold. This also has to do with your intuition. The full moon indicates that intuition and subconscious is at play. So it can be good to free write. It can be good to be creative. It can be good to pay attention to your dreams. Give yourself an extra half hour to hour of sleep to give yourself a chance to dream more, or give yourself some free meditation time and see what comes up. That's my invitation to you this week, to turn this Page of Cups upright. I'm going to highlight this comment from Brittany Marie. Pain is the body's way of signaling that something is wrong. This includes emotions. Yes, it's a message. The best thing we can do is honor pain, including painful emotions, as a message, because we won't solve the problem by ignoring it. As I have learned the hard way with my back pain in the last year. Apparently, you actually have to do something about it. Who knew? All right, let's see. I think Lana Marie is next on deck for a card. Let me see who else is on deck. Ondine, Brittany, and Kayla. All right. And then Grayson. Okay, that's a lot of people. I won't remember all these people, but I know Lana Marie followed by Ondine. By the way, if you enjoy the Witchy Weather Report, I do have a podcast, and I put out a new podcast about once a month. If you're a patron of mine, I do that as a live broadcast. You can tune in and participate in the podcast by asking questions at points throughout, which I think is really, I just started doing that with my last episode, and I found it really fun. So check that out. You can search for Sassafras Cast, all one word, Sassafras Cast. Anywhere you listen to podcasts. You can also visit patreon.com/Sassafras Tarot if you'd like to become a patron. You'll find my podcast there, and you'll find them publicly available. But if you want to become a patron, it will unlock some posts that are patron only. Lana Marie, the Moon. Let's talk about this one. This is one of the cards I absolutely love. So, the Moon is about living in your wisdom. Specifically, I'm going to ask you what it would feel like to access your higher self. This is a more intuitive process. Pardon me, it's not it's not as straightforward as being like, what do you think, higher self? Although I will ask that question sometimes before I go to sleep and see if I get an answer. Your higher self has some wisdom to offer you, and it would be wise for you to try to connect with that version of yourself rather than acting impulsively this week. So spend some time connecting to your intuition. The Moon is very connected to intuition. This can look like, again, work with the subconscious, which the Moon is very, very involved with. You don't access your higher self through straightforward means. You access her through dreams. You access her through asking yourself a question and meditating on it for the next few days and seeing what comes up. Okay, Grayson, thank you for tuning in. Hope everything is okay. So that's my invitation to you. Honor your higher self. Check in with her. If you feel like you can't get a message with her, just send a message out and let her know that you appreciate her and value her opinion, and want to know what she has to share with you. and then give it some time. Oh, Mary Jane is saying, yes, very sad about my son and worried. To give into that will make my daily function impossible. Yes, maybe make some time to give in and cry my heart out. I really, really feel for you. Hey, can everyone in the chat, can you please send some love to Mary Jane right now? Because I think she could use it. I really feel for you, Mary Jane. I'm sending good energy at you. And yeah, it is hard when we have something that is just causing us ongoing pain to feel like, okay, sometimes we do. We have to put that pain aside to function. But it might be healthy to give yourself a little bit of time to be in your feelings instead of suppressing them constantly. Brittany Marie is sending love and hearts, by the way. I'm just Mary Jane's on Instagram, so I'm gonna be the intermediary here to let you know. She says, I know that feeling intimately. All right, Ondine is next. I'm going to pull a card for you, my dear. Also, Mary Jane, Lana Marie is sending you a ton of hearts. That looks like 7 hearts. 7 hearts from Lana Marie. People in the chat are sending you their good energy. That's something I love about the Witchy Weather Report, is that we just show up for each other. I know I say it every week because it blows my mind every week. I just love that, you know, we've created this little corner of the internet community where we are supportive of each other rather than getting into comment wars. You know, it is possible. It is possible to have a corner of the internet where different people with different ideas come together and just are nice. What a concept. Ondine, here is your card. This is a reversal. This is the 5 of Wands reverse. This is very interesting because our card for the week, like all of us, is the 5 of Wands upright. What this says to me is that you may have the ability to channel your energy into wiser moves than petty ones. I think you're probably in a better mental state right now where you have the possibility of recognizing that pettiness. The other possibility of a reversal is the exact opposite, is that you can get stuck in it. So I urge you to spend time with your wisdom this week. You know what that means. Spend time with yourself. Make sure you're doing your self-care practices because no one is in their best state of mind to make choices when they're always stressed and pushing. So make sure you spend some time with yourself to not be stressed and pushing, to recognize when a fight needs to be fought and when it really is petty and really doesn't need to suck your energy that way. That is my advice to you. All right, I know we have a couple more cats in the chat. Brittany, followed by Kayla. Okay. By the way, everyone who's sending love to Mary Jane, Mary Jane's over on Instagram saying thank you, everybody. Brittany Marie, what will your card be? Your card, my dear, is the Empress. What is it that you are bringing into the world? Because it is ready to come into the world powerfully. If you've been working on a project, asking yourself, when will I be ready? When will I be ready to perhaps go public with this? When will I be ready to start this creative thing in my life? Now is the time. The Empress is ready to guide you. The Empress also guides you towards wise, practical self-care. So the Empress is very much the mom card. And sometimes I refer to it as the mom friend card, as someone who doesn't plan to be a mother at any point. I am definitely the mom friend. So be in your power in a way that is deeply practical and realistic, because that is what the Empress does. The Empress urges us to embrace our potential and also urges us to take care of our needs. You know what I'm saying? So the Empress is like, yeah, go do the thing, write a song, draw a picture, paint a picture, make a movie, write a movie script, do the creative thing that you have in your soul. And also don't forget to bring a sweater and don't forget to drink water and also like take a break and eat a good healthy meal, you silly bat. I don't know where silly bat came from. It's like silly goose, but it's witchier. So the Empress urges you to both take loving care of yourself and to nurture whatever project is near and dear to your heart at this time. Own it. Own the Empress. I actually worked with the Empress kind of accidentally for a good 6 months at one period of my life. And I really needed that energy. I really needed that set of beliefs that yes, you can work hard towards what's important to you, and at the same time, you can take really wonderful, loving care of yourself, and that those two are not in conflict. You can do both things. And in fact, both things help the other thing. I had her on my altar for a long time. And I would ask her, I would make her offerings of coffee and chocolate. And I'd be like, what do you think, Empress? Tell me what to do. As a kid, bats were my favorite. So silly bat matches a lot. That's so nice. I love when that happens. It's like a cute little bonus from the universe, and that's how I access my intuition, is by yammering. Sometimes something will come out of my mouth that I don't know why I say it, and it'll make a cute little connection like that. So I like it. Brittany says the Empress isn't really one that I'm familiar with working with, and I'll be the first to admit that it's a struggle part of my life. Same, and that's probably why the Empress came up for you. I found that if you're open to it, you do get, these archetypes, I guess, is how I would describe it, coming into your life and, encouraging you to show up for yourself in new and different ways, perhaps in ways that the archetype can guide you with. So see what it's like to, I don't know, have your morning coffee with the Empress and see what she's got to say. Hello, I have a new commenter on Facebook, Sumaira. Please tell me if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, because I want to get it right. It's important to me. Thank you for tuning in. If you would like a card pulled, the secret code is to drop a cat emoji in the chat. Or if you can't get to the emojis for some reason, just type something about a cat and I will know to pull a card for you. All right. I think I have a card to pull for Kayla and Sue Mara. Is that right? Is it Mara? Is that the right way to say the second half of your name? I hope I'm getting it right. And let me know. Drop a cat emoji in the chat if you would like me to pull a card for you, because I would absolutely love to. Or just write something about a cat. Kayla, I am shuffling to pull a card for you right now. Yes, I got it right. Ooh, woo. Score 10 points for me. All right. This is going to be my last card pull at the moment, unless anyone else shows up and puts a cat in the chat. So the Witchy Weather Report will have a little earlier ending. Some weeks it goes early, some weeks it goes late. So that's okay with me. That's all in the flow. Kayla, your card is the Lovers. Oh, I think I just got a cat from Sumera. Okay. Kayla, your card is the Lovers. So, you are being advised to lean towards tenderness this week. This can literally indicate, if you have a romantic relationship that's meaningful into your life, to lean towards being tender with that person, to lean towards assuming generously about your interactions, making the generous and kind assumption rather than assuming the worst about someone, that kind of thing. This is about being real and showing up, being vulnerable. You have a safe space to do this in. Now, our overall card for the week was the Five of Wands. So this indicates that you might have a push and pull this week. You might be pulled. Do I be vulnerable? Do I, show who I really am? And that's always feels like a risk, right? Or Do I fight? Do I push? Do I have petty arguments? Because there's going to be that energy will be available to us, like it or not, this week. And the universe is urging you to honor your vulnerable side, to get in touch with your inner truth. And the way to do that, as you probably know, because you are a very wise person, is to really show up honestly for yourself and your feelings. You can't be vulnerable, you can't be tender and loving unless you're tender and loving with yourself. So show up with love. You will be glad you did. Samara, I'm going to pull a card for you, and then this is going to be our last card for the day. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoy the Witchy Weather Report, I do this every Saturday at 11 a.m. New York time, and I'd love to see you back. Thank you. I am trying, Brittany. I'm trying. Samara, here is your card. It is the Queen of Swords. This is a time for you to be in your truth. As you can see, the Queen of Swords is surrounded by a butterfly because beauty is truth and truth, beauty. The truth also sets you free. There is nothing more free than a butterfly. They're good. They're going to do whatever they want. The Queen of Swords also has a sword. Sometimes the truth needs to be used as a sword. Sometimes the truth can be cutting. Your goal this week is to honor your truth, whether it's easy or whether it is challenging, because the truth will set you free. So make sure you do that. Show up for your truth. Take extra time to yourself this week. If there are times, especially if you feel conflict with others, if it's hard for you to know exactly how you're feeling because there's so much going on around you, take a time out. Give yourself the time to get clear on what you think and what you believe, because now the world needs your voice. So please speak up once you understand what you think and what you believe. It's important that you share it with others because others actually need to benefit from your perspective. Emily just tuned in. Emily doesn't even have to drop a cat. Emily is a cat. Emily, I'm going to pull a card for you. You just crossed the finish line because I was about to end the broadcast. All right. I'm shuffling for you, Emily, and I will let you know, if you just tuned in, that the overall card for the week is the Five of Wands, meaning there is a tendency towards petty conflict this week. We always have a choice whether we want to put our energy into that or not. And I will say, sometimes it's appropriate to put our energy in, right? Sometimes a conflict may seem petty, but we have to stand up for ourselves or have to stand up for what's right, perhaps. If someone says something kind of crappy and racist or crappy and homophobic or whatever, sometimes even though we might not have a fulfilling conversation with that person, we still have to stand up for what's right, just to be the voice of justice, just to remind anyone listening that someone will stand up to this. That's important sometimes, to be an upstander rather than a bystander. But I'll also remind you, that's not always our job. We don't always have to do that. We don't have to constantly be depleting ourselves to stand up for what's right. We need to take care of ourselves too. So I urge you to use your own wisdom, use yourself as a yardstick, watch your energy levels this week. Make sure you're kind to yourselves. Emily says, yes, petty conflict. I am feeling it. All right, so here is your card for the week. Personally, Emily, this is going to be my last card for the week. You also got the Page of Cups reversed. So the Page of Cups is almost the opposite of petty conflict. It's showing up with vulnerability and an open mind. Whereas I would say usually with petty conflict, we show up with crankiness and a closed mind. So let's talk about the Page of Cups. What is it, Emily, that is blocking you from honoring your emotions and also from honoring your intuition? Is there something that your wiser self is trying to tell you and you're going like, la, 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 I don't hear it. No, I'm fine. What is it that's making you feel that you don't have space to listen to your emotions? That is your question. Because when you answer that question and when you give yourself the space, there is an important message waiting for you. And you probably know it a little bit and you're probably resisting it because stress, because whatever, because life is, annoying. But that is your invitation today, to find a way to make space for that inner wisdom. By the way, I will share something, and I think I might have shared this last week too. A piece of wisdom from a podcast I used to listen to all the time called the Practical Herbalist podcast with Sue Sierra Lupe. Sue is this awesome activist herbalist from the West Coast, Oregon, I want to say. And she's just super wise and very unassuming and humble as well. And one of the things she said about anger in a podcast that stuck with me is when you are angry, you should try to speak softer rather than louder. You should physically move your body backwards rather than towards. And you should move more slowly rather than quickly. If you follow those three kind of practical rules of thumb, that can avoid escalating a situation. So maybe something that would have been a difficult fight can turn into a productive conversation. So that is the wisdom I leave you with when you are in conflict this week, when you are challenged. Speak softer, not louder. Move backwards, not forwards. And move slowly, not quickly. Thank you, everyone, so much for tuning into the Witchy Weather Report. Wherever you are watching, I ask that you please follow, hit that notification button. It would mean a lot to me to get to do this again and read cards for you again. Also, please follow me on YouTube and Twitch. If you search Sassafras Tarot on either one of those sites, you will find me, and that's where I'm doing the bulk of my streaming. I'll be doing more unboxings. I'm going to be doing a little bit of a live learn of the Marseille style of tarot. I might actually do a weekly study session for a while. I'm not sure exactly what form that's going to take, but there will be more. So please make sure you follow me on YouTube and Twitch. Oh, nice. Brittany says, I've been making myself speak more quietly and moving more slowly while angry, and it does help. Wise words. That's awesome. I'm still very much at the point where I think those words are really wise, and in the heat of the moment, I rarely remember. So if you're up to level 2 where you're like, yes, I am applying this, that's really awesome, because I know from experience that it can be very challenging. Okay. So, if you are anywhere but Twitch, this is where we bid adieu. However, on Twitch, I'm going to go ahead and see if there's anyone I can raid right now, because that's the thing you do on Twitch. You raid other people's channels. I recently discovered a real lot of cool, crafty creators on Twitch, so I'm going to see if anyone is currently, I'm going to go ahead and raid Nightly Creations. So if you are on Twitch with me, that's who we're going to raid. If you're not on Twitch, come on over to Twitch and raid Nightly Creations. This is a really cool streamer who makes chainmail, which is so cool. So, everyone else, farewell. Have an absolutely wonderful, wonderful week. And remember to be kind to yourself.